just the competitor that I am. I'm fierce, I'm sassy. I stick up for my teammates, stick up for myself, and so sometimes I think that's okay to be feisty and to be yourself. Everyone's like, what is going on with the refs? And I'm like, I don't know. And you finding me $500 is not going to do. I mean, you know, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way.
Mabry. That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball, but
we were talking about like our first week, what people had to say. Well, the WNBA fined me for
No! You got fined for episode 1?
Dude, they fined me $1,500. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is just the beginning. I was like, you're kidding. Oh,
no way.
I was like, I even told them, I even credited them that their job was hard. I did say that, and I said that I would not be good at it. You did say that. Like, look at the whole picture. What are we doing?
This is exactly the kind of fire Caitlin Clark's fans had been praying to see. And Sophie Cunningham delivered it with zero hesitation. She wasn't just Caitlin's protector on the court, she became the megaphone for every frustrated fan watching the league turn a blind eye.
Look, you go down into the trees and things happen, and Kiki Ariafin right there had an extra little shove, and she's just like, what I do? Well, you kind of grab up, and then Sophie Cunningham pops right up and has a lot to say.
And for Ka Engelbert, Sophie turned into the kind of nightmare she could never ignore. Here's the thing. Once the 2025 season heated up, you could see it in Sophie's eyes. She was done playing nice. Every dirty foul Caitlin took, every cheap elbow that the refs somehow missed, every laughable fine the league tried to throw her way, Sophie flipped all of it into fuel. She wasn't backing down from refs, wasn't holding her tongue with the media, wasn't biting her lip around old teammates, and she even aimed her shots straight at the league's top brass. And the wildest part? This feels like only chapter 1. The WNBA has a serious problem on its hands because Sophie isn't just defending Caitlin anymore. She's calling out the entire system, and fans can't get enough of it.
They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom! Wow. I love it.
In this video, we'll break down Sophie's rise from loyal enforcer to the league's biggest headache, with every move becoming sharper, louder, and way more satisfying to watch. But first, smash that like button and drop your favorite Sophie moment in the comments. What Sophie said back then? It turned out to be way too humble compared to what she really unleashed once she signed with the Fever. Fans were buzzing because this squad had been begging for someone to finally bring that missing ingredient, straight-up feistiness. A player who could stand toe-to-toe with anyone daring to rough up Caitlin Clark. But Sophie didn't just bring attitude. She came in swinging with something far rarer in the league. Raw, unapologetic loyalty to Caitlin. And people noticed it immediately. In a league where stars often get quiet under pressure, Sophie made it crystal clear whose side she was on. That was huge after a brutal season where the media watered down Caitlin's influence. Refs flat out refused to give her a fair whistle, and even Nike dragged their feet when it came to giving her the shine she earned.
There's a couple players on their team that are just do a little bit extra stuff, like just chippy talking. Like you're a professional athlete, like that's what happens, right?
And I feel like you see it more because people act like this towards Caitlin.
Yes, 1,000%. So in the first half, the refs didn't call. Someone should have been thrown out, and the refs did not call it.
Correct, I remember that.
They didn't, and so I was like, all right,
she got full body chested.
By 3 people. Like 2 people. They're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, if that was anyone else, I would have been booted out of the game. I know that for sure. I'm a little sassy, but like so are they.
Your leash is shorter though, because they know.
Literally, I don't even have a leash. I just have a freaking collar and a hand on it.
So when Sophie opened her mouth and told the world the truth, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. She's transforming it. It hit like a thunderclap. Suddenly, Sophie was no longer just another teammate. She was public enemy number 1 factorial. And it didn't take long for rivals to test her. During the preseason clash with the Mystics, rookie Kiki Finn tried to take Caitlin out. But Sophie? She popped right back up, stared her down, and basically sent a warning shot. Don't you ever try that again. That little preseason dust-up, that was nothing but a warm-up, just a taste of what was really coming once the season got rolling. Because if a rookie could throw down with a veteran like Sophie Cunningham without blinking, then what chance did Caitlin Clark have against a league full of players hunting her down? It felt like open season on the Fever, and Sophie's mission was about to come into sharp focus. Night after night, the refs swallowed their whistles like it was part of the script. Caitlin was getting hammered with elbows, blindsided by cheap shots, and still, no calls. Meanwhile, other players skated by like they had immunity. It was deja vu from 2024, and Sophie finally snapped.
Or just as an opponent tonight?
Yeah, AZ was good to me, but I'm way happier where I'm at now. It was good to see people. It was fun to play in front of some fans, but for me, I'm way happier in Indiana.
The boiling point came on June 17th during the Commissioner's Cup matchup against the Connecticut Sun. The game was spiraling into chaos while the officials just stood there watching. First, J.C. Sheldon clawed at Caitlin's face. Then Marina Mabrey came crashing in with a body shot that would have been a foul anywhere else in the world. Still, nothing. No protection, no accountability, not even a warning. And that's when Sophie decided enough was enough. In one explosive moment, she turned from fiery competitor into Caitlin's avenger. Fans will never forget it. Sophie locking up an opponent in a headlock, shoving her back, and spitting out a dare. Do something! For Caitlin's supporters, this wasn't just basketball. It was pure release after months of watching her get beat down. Sophie gave them what no ref, no teammate, and no league official ever did: payback. And make no mistake, this wasn't just Sophie being fiery anymore. This was Sophie rewriting her entire identity in the WNBA. That was the exact moment the switch flipped. Sophie started playing like she had zero Fs to give. And the wild part? It didn't stop when the buzzer sounded. Reporters tried to corner her after practice, asking about the scuffle, and Sophie didn't hold back. She made it crystal clear this wasn't about one foul, one play, or one bad call. No, this was about something much bigger. For years, she'd been watching Caitlin Clark get disrespected from a distance, but now that she was living it shoulder to shoulder, Sophie reached her breaking point. And that one eruption instantly transformed her from a scrappy role player into a household name.
She's towards the end of her career, so she deserves her flowers. She deserves to be happy. But I also think that if you're gonna leave, you're gonna have to expect getting bit.
Was there explanation when it happened? No. Not even privately? That's tough. And, yeah, okay.
Suddenly, Sophie wasn't just Caitlin's protector. She became the symbol of the Caitlin Clark effect. Fans went wild. Her jersey sold out in minutes. Her social media blew up overnight, climbing into the millions. And Sophie leaned straight into the chaos, dropping a TikTok soundtracked by Selena Gomez with a cheeky wink at that J.C. Sheldon takedown. It went mega viral. Her comment section was flooded with one loud message: "Thank you for standing up for Caitlin." That wasn't just hype, it was money pouring in. In one viral weekend, Sophie Cunningham turned herself into one of the most marketable names in the WNBA. But fame cuts both ways. With every new fan chanting her name, she gained just as many enemies. The media dragged her through the mud, slamming her retaliation on J.C. Sheldon while suspiciously staying silent on Marina Mabrey's cheap shot and Sheldon's eye swipe. The hypocrisy was loud, and Sophie wasn't about to let it slide. It didn't take long before the backlash turned into a full-on witch hunt.
During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so, at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do, and I'm a team player, so it's all good.
A petition popped up on Swipe at CaitlinAchange.org demanding Sophie be banned from the league altogether for unsportsmanlike conduct. And then came the WNBA's slap on the wrist, a $400 fine that was supposed to shut her up. But here's the twist. Instead of backing down, Sophie doubled down. At that point, she had a choice. She could have stayed quiet, let the storm pass, and faded back into the role of scrappy role player. But Sophie wasn't built for silence. From that day on, every sound bite cut deeper, every highlight clip looked nastier, and every word she dropped hit harder than the last. She wasn't just hooping anymore, she declared war. That's when Sophie Cunningham officially became the league's worst nightmare. Just 5 days after the J.C. Sheldon showdown, she made sure nobody forgot whose side she was on. Sophie strolled into pregame rocking a Barstool Sports Tres Leches shirt. boldly featuring her, Caitlin, and Lexi Hull side by side. The message couldn't have been clearer: loyalty, unity, and defiance. But the fallout? Nuclear.
Hey, another thing, I don't know why this reminded me of just like games, you asking about Bria, but I'm officially 3 for 3 on being fined by the WNBA.
Holy shit! For this? For the pod? Again?
They didn't like my comments on Paige Becker's.
No way!
I didn't even say anything bad.
The Three Milks nickname got twisted into controversy, interpreted as a pointed shot at the Fever's 3 white stars. Sophie knew exactly how it would land, and she wore it anyway. And trust, she wasn't finished. On July 1st, she turned her fire directly on the WNBA's front office, blasting their much-hyped expansion plans. Immediately, entire cities like Detroit and Cleveland went into a frenzy, thinking their shot at a franchise was slipping away. The backlash came from every angle. Media pundits, rival fans, even league insiders piled on. For a brief second, Sophie tried to walk it back, claiming her words were taken out of context. But by then, the damage and the headlines were already done. Here's the thing.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I am someone who says what everyone else is thinking or talking about, not just with the refs,
Did you post
but
that
with
after
Detroit,
after you guys lost?
with Cleveland. I want people to hear what I just said. I am the only one, but if you ask our league, they feel the same exact way.
The league feels the same way about the refs as you?
And Detroit and
Oh.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
And
Do
so
you want
now,
to give it one more shot?
no, because
Okay.
I said what I had to say.
Dude, go on.
And I'm not going to apologize because I fully believe that. Don't tell me that Detroit is more fun than Nashville.
When you're up against the mob, backing down is pointless. Sophie knew it, and instead of playing nice, she went even harder, saying the quiet part out loud. Everyone agreed with her. They were just too scared to admit it. That was the spark that lit a trend. Sophie became the one voice willing to say what the rest of the league only whispered behind closed doors. And the league's answer? Fines, fines, and more fines. On July 18th, Sophie dropped a TikTok lip-syncing to a Sabrina Carpenter track, not so subtly mocking the refs as stupid and useless. The clip blew up instantly, over 1 million views in hours. Fans ate it up, but the WNBA didn't find it cute. They slapped her with a $500 fine, which only made the whole thing funnier. For most players, that's a decent chunk of their paycheck. But for Sophie, with endorsement deals rolling in, $500 was pocket change. Honestly, people joked that Caitlin could have covered it herself with the $11 million she banked in 2024. So instead of silencing Sophie, the league gave her more ammo.
You have seen players in our league try to like toughen up Caitlin. We call her Cece. Cece. For even when I wasn't on her team, like I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And like I get it to a certain extent, and like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But there's just more for her. So it's her second year, and like now being on her team and like seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? Like actually, it's just too much, and like it's just I'm over. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much.
No, that's so fair.
Like
Good
that's
point.
fair, right?
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks later, on July 30th, she cranked the chaos up another notch with the launch of her brand new podcast, Show Me Something. And from the jump, it was clear this wasn't going to be a polished PR show. It was her weapon, her platform, her stage to torch the league without filters. Episode 1 set the tone right away. Sophie didn't tiptoe around names, didn't sugarcoat situations. She went directly at the WNBA, blasting the abuse, the favoritism, and the shady politics that fans had been side-eyeing for years. Suddenly, she wasn't just a player anymore. She was a disruptor, exposing the league from the inside out. Sophie didn't sugarcoat it. She flat out said the chippiness, the cheap shots, and the non-stop abuse Caitlin was taking, it was 100% because of Caitlin Clark. And she didn't stop there. She lit up the refs too, calling out that infamous Sun game, saying they completely lost control and that Marina Mabrey should have been tossed on the spot. But then Sophie dropped her biggest bomb yet, not just on rival players, but on the entire machine. the media, the owners, and anyone in the WNBA who dared disrespect Caitlin Clark. And she didn't just throw shade. She took dead aim at the referees with a direct, targeted attack, basically daring the league to come after her wallet again. Sure enough, on August 5th, the league hit back with a $1,500 fine. But Sophie had already warned everyone, no dollar amount was going to shut her up, and she proved it immediately. In that very same podcast, she turned the heat up even higher, this time aiming at someone close, her former teammate and mentor, DeWanna Bonner. She called out Bonner's messy exit from Indiana just days before they were set to face off in Phoenix. What really went down behind closed doors before that Fever-Mercury matchup? Nobody knows for sure. But when Sophie went public, her message couldn't have been clearer. It was polite, it was sharp, and it was final. You're dead to me. And the way Phoenix reacted afterward made it obvious. Her words cut deeper than anyone expected. Then Sophie went full savage mode and shattered one of the WNBA's unspoken rules. She went straight at the refs and their golden treatment of Paige Buchers. On her August 13th podcast, she didn't mince words. Sophie ripped into the officials, saying Paige was being handed superstar calls that were flat out outrageous. No sugarcoating, no hedging. She called it exactly how fans saw it, and she absolutely torched the league for it. What made it hit harder was that Sophie was voicing what fans had been grumbling about for months. The double standard couldn't be ignored anymore. On one side, you had Caitlin Clark, the face of the league, still getting hacked to pieces with 0 whistles well into her second season. On the other side, Paige, a rookie, getting superstar protection and respect from day one. That's the treatment Caitlin should have had all along, and Sophie was the one bold enough to blast it publicly. And right on cue, the league clapped back in the only way they ever do, by reaching for Sophie's wallet. Another fine, another headline, another reminder that she was becoming too loud to ignore. But fate threw in a twist. Sophie's season got cut short with an MCL injury, taking her off the floor for the rest of 2025. No more on-court fireworks, no more altercations. But here's the kicker. What she did before that injury, what she saw, what she lived through, and what she spoke out about left a permanent mark. Sophie Cunningham didn't just defend Caitlin Clark. She built the blueprint for how the WNBA should have been protecting her all along. Sophie understood her worth from day one. She celebrated it, she owned it, and most importantly, she defended Caitlin Clark at every single turn. With Caitlin's star power already breaking out of the WNBA bubble and her fan base constantly mocked and dismissed, Sophie became their loudspeaker. She said out loud what those fans had been screaming into the void. The league treats its biggest draw like an afterthought. That's what makes Sophie's platform different. It isn't about polishing up the league's shiny PR campaigns. It's about tearing down the curtain and exposing the cracks. Her voice is pro-women's basketball, but it is not pro-WNBA. She calls out the leadership, she checks the refs, and she puts players on notice. And the wild part? The league's fines only make her louder. Every time they try to silence her with a penalty, she cranks the volume up even higher. And that's the WNBA's real nightmare. Sophie Cunningham is charismatic. She connects with casual fans in a way most players can't, and she's fearless when it comes to defending Caitlin Clark. The league created this storm by refusing to protect its own superstar. And now, Sophie is the price they pay for that negligence. Until the WNBA steps up and protects Caitlin the way it should, Sophie will keep coming, keep talking, and keep exposing. If you're still here, drop a trophy emoji in the comments. You're a champ for riding this story all the way through. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, because trust me, this saga is only getting louder. See you on the next one.